The following lesson is linked to Learning Outcome 2, Reading and Viewing, and addresses the assessment standard that requires learners to explore and explain key features of texts and how they contribute to meaning. This lesson also links to Learning Outcome 3, Writing and Presenting, and the assessment standard that requires learners to decide on and effectively apply the appropriate style, point of view, and format of texts. We've looked at the covers of magazines, we've read some feature articles, and we've thought about the adverts. But there are other components that go into a magazine on a regular basis. Hi, I'm Kushu. Welcome to the next lesson in our series on exploring magazines. Today, we're going to look at all those little bits and pieces that fill up the magazine, the parts of a magazine that appear in each issue. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to list some regular features that appear in magazines, comment on how the regular features in a magazine are linked to the magazine's target audience, intention, and look and feel. Write your own regular feature. Articles, inserts, and columns that appear in each edition of a magazine are known as regular features, but you shouldn't confuse them with feature articles. A feature article is a long article in a magazine. It may include additional information in the form of a context list or information box. Different feature articles appear in each edition of the magazine, and the topics covered in the same feature articles are given on the cover of a magazine. Regular features, on the other hand, are components of a magazine that appear on a regular basis. Examples of regular features include advice columns, horoscopes, quizzes, gossip columns, fashion pages, puzzles, and reviews. These are just a few examples of the many regular features that you can find in magazines. Not all magazines will include all these features, and some magazines include regular features that were not on the list. But how do editors decide on which of these regular features to include in their magazines? Let's hear from Force Kashani of Bona Magazine and Nontandla Kumalo of Living and Loving how they went about choosing regular features for their magazines. What regular features do you include in your magazine?
Well, we do have, a set of regular features, like the crossword puzzle, the column, which is my multi-column, is always there. Fashion is always there. The teenage stuff must feature, because once you miss one of those which are regular, you do get a response from the readers. I have received so many letters and calls from people who say, I didn't see my stars in your magazine, because they want to read their stars for tell. And those are regular features that you must carry. The most important one, we talk about the famous people, which is the attractive. And then we have teenage features. We have sport as well, which is very important in our country, like soccer, boxing, swimming, you get those. And then we've got columns like, cooking, fashion. We do have things like, as I say, letters. We do have also pictures of ordinary people going perhaps to functions, and we take pictures and we publish those. We actually call it A&A, where we publish pictures of the celebrities in functions.
How do you choose regular features for your magazine?
We usually look at our target audience, and basically our audience is moms and parents. So we cover everything that's relevant to them. But we also, like I said, we also get to meet them, we also get to interact with them, and they phone us, they send us letters on issues that they want to raise and want to see in the magazine.
As we can see, it's very important to be aware of the magazine's target audience, the people that the magazine is aimed at, and the overall intention of the magazine. Think of an advice column as an example. Teenagers may want to read about other people's problems, but a target audience of business people would not want to read a column like this. An advice column would also have a place in a magazine that is designed to provide light, entertaining reading, but not in a serious magazine that is written to educate readers about world news or business. Horoscopes are predictions that are based on what star sign someone was born under. What magazines do you think would contain horoscopes? What would be the target audience and intention of these magazines? We are going to have a look at 2 magazines that include horoscopes as regular features. As we look at them, you will be able to see if your predictions about the types of magazines that include horoscopes were correct. The first example of a horoscopes section is taken from Teen Zone magazine. These horoscopes pages also include celebrity pictures with a focus on their star sign. Here we have a picture of Katie Holmes, a Sagittarian, and Orlando Bloom, a Capricorn. Why do you think celebrities are included on the horoscope pages? Let's turn to another horoscope page in a different magazine to see how it differs from the one that we've looked at. This horoscope spread is taken from Marie Claire magazine. How are these horoscope pages different to the ones in Teen Zone magazine? Can you think of the reasons for these differences? The Marie Claire magazine's horoscope spread uses subtle colors and plain writing. The look and feel of this design hints to us that this magazine must be aimed at older audience compared to Teen Zone's younger teenage audience. No celebrity horoscopes are given in the Marie Claire example. However, they do use other methods to draw the reader to this page. For example, they have a competition to win a personal astrology consultation and a free offer where you can get a free copy of your birth chart. These offers would definitely interest people who enjoy reading their horoscopes. From looking at these 2 horoscopes, we can see that even though different magazines might include the same regular features such as a horoscope section, they are often presented differently. A magazine's regular features that are chosen and how they are presented will be determined by a range of factors, including the type of magazine, for example, whether it's a sport mag, a teen mag, or a family interest magazine. The magazine's target audience, because the regular features that are chosen need to appeal to people most likely to read the magazine. And the magazine's look and feel, because the features need to be laid out in such a way that they fit in with the design of the magazine. Let's have a look at another regular feature that we find in various types of magazines, the review. A review is a piece of writing in which a person gives his or her own opinion on a piece of work and some information about it. So, in a book review, for example, the writer will give you some information such as who wrote the book and an idea of the plot and characters, as well as some opinions such as whether he or she thinks the book is worth reading. Let's have a look at an example of a review taken from Teen Zone magazine. This is a double-page spread. In other words, it fills up 2 facing pages. This review spread focuses specifically on the review of CDs. See if you can answer these 2 questions before we continue. Why would Teen Zone choose to review CDs? What types of CDs are likely to be reviewed in Teen Zone? Let's see what one Teen Zone reader had to say. Why would Teen Zone choose to review CDs?
Because it's aimed at teenagers and they enjoy music. So they would really like to read about like the latest album and see the review and see, I mean, if they see that it sounds good from the review, they'd actually want to go and buy it.
What types of CDs are likely to be reviewed in Teen Zone?
Actually mostly like maybe pop, like maybe Justin Timberlake, that along the lines of that.
Although other magazines include reviews of restaurants, wine, and books, Teen Zone focuses on CD reviews because they know that their target audience, mainly teenagers, enjoy listening to music. The CDs that are reviewed in Teen Zone would appeal to a younger audience. For example, there are reviews on Pussycat Dolls, Rihanna, Craig David, and some others. Let's read one of the reviews to see what style has been used and if this is also appropriate to the target audience and type of magazine.
Get ready for the invasion of the Pussycat Dolls. Straight out of LA, these 6 girls have the hottest pop track of the year. You know them already. Their debut single, Don't Ya, which features Busta Rhymes, climbed charts everywhere. Even my 7-year-old cousin knows and loves it. With roots in the Los Angeles burlesque scene, the Pussycat Dolls are a blatantly sensual dance pop group, as revealed in this album.
So, how would you describe the style of this review and what evidence from the text could you use to support your answer? In our lesson on feature articles, we learned that one of the ways you could determine the style of a text is to consider the words that have been used. Let's look at some of the words that have been used in this review. Outer is a shortened form of out of. This tells us that the review is written quite casually and in a conversational manner. The words get ready and you know them already also use a chatty conversational style, as this is how we speak to our friends. The review is also written using first and second person pronouns, which also give it a casual, informal style. By using pronouns such as my and you, the writer sounds as if he's talking to a friend he knows and is able to say what he thinks. For example, the review says, "You know them already," which sounds as if the writer and the reader have talked about this before, and by saying, "Even my 7-year-old cousin knows and loves it," the writer gives his own personal experience. This review uses a casual, informal style because it is aimed at teens, and the overall intention of the magazine is to provide light, entertaining reading. A book review in a magazine aimed at older people might not be so casual. As we looked at the review, you may also have noticed that the review feature is sponsored by Exact Mobile. Their logo is on the top left of the left-hand page, and they also advertised down the sides of the spread. To find out why companies choose to sponsor certain aspects of a magazine, listen to what Lee Kasumba, editor of Y-Mag, and Praksha Tulsi, marketing manager of Caxton Magazines, have to say.
The reason why companies will choose to sponsor a page as opposed to an ad is because it just depends on how their marketing team wants to do it. Like, that's one of the things that I do. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to sponsor a page, then subliminally people will like start to associate this with that, and it's that sort of thing. So it's probably makes more of an impact without people knowing that it's made an impact.
One of the good points about magazines is that compared to things like television, our adverts are seen as part of the magazine. And the more you blend with the magazine in terms of editorial content and blending in terms of the way in which you write, it enables the reader to be more susceptible to the advertising that they see. It's seen as more part of the magazine than something that doesn't quite fit.
So, companies like to sponsor pages that they know the readers will spend more time looking at. The exact mobile advertisers may believe that Teen Zone readers are more likely to see their logo on a page of reviews than on an advert. And who knows, reading a review for the Pussycat Dolls may even encourage readers to get that ringtone for their phone. Now let's look at a review from a very different magazine. In what ways does this review look different to the Teen Zone CD review? What target audience do you think this review would appeal to? The review we've just seen is from Fair Lady magazine. This magazine is aimed at adult, intellectual women. The biggest difference between this review and the Teen Zone review is that this is a book review page. If we look at the types of books that are reviewed, we see that they look like challenging novels. These are the types of novels that would appeal to typical readers of Fair Lady. In terms of look and feel, this review page only takes up a single page of the magazine and the colors are a lot softer. The subject of the reviews, challenging novels, and the way that the page is laid out would appeal to adult, intellectual, Fair Lady readers. The reviews are also in keeping with an intention of the magazine, which is to provide readers with information that they can use. Now let's consider the writing style. Let's have a closer look at how the reviews are written.
Growing up as an undertaker's son, Anthony relies on his alter ego, Tony, to dare to push against the strict structures of his life. As a grown-up, Tony plays the guitar by night in a Kalk Bay bar, while Anthony continues the family business by day. Consuelo Rowland makes a stunning debut with her unique and thoughtful storytelling.
Unlike the Teen Zone CD review, this review doesn't use any slang words and the reviewer writes only in third person. So the reviewer talks about the novelist Consuelo Rowland and she talks about the characters Anthony and Tony, but she doesn't mention herself. In this way, the writer distances herself from the audience and the writing style is more formal than the review taken from Teen Zone. Let's have a look at the words that are used. Words like alter ego and phrases like push against the strict structures of his life are quite complicated, but they would be understood by the people likely to read this magazine and people who want to read this novel. So, here we've seen another example of a regular feature, a review, where the content, style, and look and feel are appropriate for the target readers, the type of magazine, and the intention of the magazine. Now that we know about regular features, let's go to our task for today. In your groups, you are each going to write a review of a book that you have read, a play that you have seen, a movie that you have watched, or a CD that you have listened to. Remember to keep in mind the type of magazine that you and the rest of your group are busy putting together. Be aware of your target audience and adjust the design of your review page and the style of your writing accordingly. Don't forget that each group member is to produce a review for the magazine. That's all for today. See you next time when we look at a few more examples of regular features. From me, Kushu, until next time.